I was born in Russia. I was adopted when I was 2.5. I was very sick, apparently. I was diagnosed with fetal alcohol syndrome, but I was lucky enough to be adopted by, well, 2 people, one of them being a nurse and the other just being a great dad overall. I was diagnosed with autism, Asperger's, whatever you want to call it, and that did present quite a few difficulties in school. I will say I was never very good at math, but I always excelled at things like natural world-based education. I think that's part of what attracted me to diving, was the wildlife and the reefs. The way I process information, sometimes I can go on a tangent and slither like an idiot sometimes if I get too worked up. But diving has helped with that. It helps you focus on your breathing. It's quiet, it's not overly bright. No one's saying, hey, go do this, or hey, can you get me that? Or the fish don't expect you to feed them. It's just a nice, relaxing way to get away from the surface world, which, quite frankly, I don't really fit into. I found Diveheart a few years ago, and I took to it like a fish to water, no pun intended. I always had trouble kind of finding my place, and I was always that kind of weird kid. And I tell you what, kids are cruel. They are cruel. They don't understand differences, and they see this goofy kid with these differences from them, and they just they're cruel. Being in Diveheart, I feel like I've finally found my place. I found people I fit in with, people I connect with, people who understand me, people I just feel comfortable around.
This is our first dive trip. We're in Cozumel, and we have seen our daughter grow immensely. I can't even put words to it. My husband and I look at each other and we're like, we can't believe it. She's just, and the people that help her are telling her how she is just becoming independent, doing her diving. She is a strong diver.
Right.
She's independent in the water, even though she has a dive buddy always with her, right next to her, and she's doing an amazing job. But then one of the important things that are taking away from this is that she now has people with common interests. Chris has not always had a lot of friends. It's been wonderful to see how everyone seeks out Chris and wants to be friends with her. And on the boat, all the camaraderie. When they see each other within the resort and out by the pool, everyone is reaching out to one another and being kind and welcoming and inclusive. That's a key part, inclusive, because she's not had that, and she's 22. She's not had inclusion.
This is her tribe. I mean, these are people that she feels very comfortable being around, and it's all for one and one for all. It's just been a delight for us to watch that. I think on Monday, I walked her down and walked her down for breakfast, got her all squared away, and she looked at me and she says, "You could leave now if you want."
and we're
I said, "Who are you?"
Yes, who are you?
And I said, "Well, okay." And I kind of walked away, and
the next day, Tuesday, alarm went off.
Yeah.
And she's
all I had to do then was just get her up.
Yeah.
Once she was awake, she took it from there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
amazing.
That sounds like very trivial to a lot to but that's huge for her.
That is huge for her. She remembered, her drink. She remembered her her locker key, her room key. She was able. all these things that we take for granted every day that she can't do, or she can't do well, and she's doing them. And today, alarm went off, yeah. It was
Off she
like,
went.
okay,
Off she
see ya. And she had all her stuff. And the night before, get this, she started getting ready for the next morning, preparing for the next morning. We're like, who's this girl? We love this. Oh my God.
This has been better than any therapy she's ever had.
Yes.
No question.
Yes.
A lot of people don't understand us. Basically, they see autism as just one thing. They don't see it as a spectrum. They hear autism and they think, oh, she's so-and-so, or she's this. But if you have a different view of the world, then you should check out Diveheart. It accepts you for you. It doesn't judge you. And I've definitely found my group within Diveheart.